factory is more than just cigars. It's about the culture, the tradition, the legacy. If this factory closed and we risk losing the centuries-old tradition of American cigar making, so almost a decade ago, my wife had this idea. Why don't we create a cigar here in America with all American tobacco? I wanted to showcase the craft of American cigar making with the American. Many cigar enthusiasts don't know that the United States has a rich history and tradition of cigar making. When the Europeans came to North America, their early settlements struggled. What changed everything was tobacco. In 1612, the first tobacco crop was planted. Tobacco made the American colonies successful. At the time of the American Revolution, tobacco was grown in all 13 colonies. The United States might not exist today if it wasn't for tobacco. In 1895, there were cigar companies all across the United States. Every city, every town had its own cigar factories. At its peak, Tampa had more than 200 cigar factories and rolled more than 500 million cigars every year. Beginning in the 1970s and then accelerating into the 80s and 90s, Tampa's cigar factories started closing. One by one, they either closed their doors or moved their production overseas. Today, there's only one large cigar factory left in the United States. It's very hard creating a 100% all-American cigar. There's just a handful of types of tobacco grown for cigars left. Every leaf is grown in the United States, like the beautiful Florida sun-grown tobacco in Claremont, Florida.
And I'm Jeff Borsowitz, founder of the Florida Sun-Grown Farm here in Claremont, Florida. Florida cigar tobacco had been grown since before the Civil War. There was a steady decline in the middle 1900s until 1977, where the final crop was grown and the industry was done. We were resurrecting it, bringing it back. Not necessarily make the farm profitable, but sustainable. And the only cigar tobacco farm in the state of Florida. Drew had the vision of getting that handmade cigar production back. Once he saw us doing a farm, he's like, Jeff, I really want to work with you and make a cigar in Tampa. Everybody says we're crazy, but we've proven that we can do it.
My great-grandfather came to America learning how to roll cigars with his own two hands. He was making great cigars here in the United States for more than a century. 2 world wars, the Great Depression, 2 pandemics, passed down from generation to generation. We're determined to keep the American cigar tradition alive. It's a tremendous privilege, but it's also a great responsibility to roll cigars 100 years from now, same way that we did 100 years ago.
Think about the generations and generations of farmers that were farming that same property going back hundreds of years. Agriculture is the backbone of this country. There's less and less farmers every year. As time has gone on, more and more is getting lost.
Long-term relationships define the American cigar industry and make it special. Old world farms, old world farmers still growing cigar tobacco the same way. The Mennonites in Pennsylvania and a 14-generation family farmer in Connecticut.
This property was purchased by my family in 1790. The house was built in 1822. 8 generations that have lived in this Foster house. I'm the 14th generation of Foster in the United States. My ancestry came here with nothing. There was forests, they had to clear them by hand, build their own barns. We're just lucky to be continuing on that. The Connecticut River Valley will always have a special place in the cigar industry. The valley was carved by a glacier. Thousands of acres of prime farmland, along with the microclimate that we have here in the summers, produce some world-class cigar tobacco. It's the Napa Valley of tobacco. But I'm lucky to be sitting here right now because agriculture is not easy at all. It's hurricanes, blue mold outbreaks, labor shortages. That's just in my career. Growing tobacco is very, very labor intensive. Not a lot has changed in the last 100 years. Instead of horses, now we have tractors, but other than that, there's still the same amount of hand labor. We harvest by taking a hatchet, cutting it down, leaving it in the sun to wilt, stringing them onto sticks, and bringing the plants to the curing barns. 50% of the work is the field part, and the other 50% is doing the curing in the barns. The tobacco converts from green to the yellow stage to the brown stage to have really nice looking, oily, dark tobacco. We put a lot of attention and care into curing tobacco.
So what makes American tobacco unique is the unique soil, as well as the unique climate of the growing regions here. The American is blended with tobaccos from farms in Florida, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut.
I can't say how proud I am of the whole project. People from Connecticut don't even realize that there's tobacco being grown here. We need there to be more awareness, more support. Most of the farms that we own are all preserved farmland, which will never be developed. Then in 100 years, those same farms will have tobacco being grown on.
It's a handcrafted tradition that dates back centuries. There's no textbook, there's no degree program, there's no school for learning how to make cigars or make cigar boxes. It's an art, it's a craft.
My grandfather used to grow tobacco in Cuba, and I was always interested. I just realized that, wow, I love to make cigars, but the real way. You have passion to make cigar or not? It's no other way. You do you have a passion to make cigar, you lose the game. It's not by numbers. You try to make the right way every day.
Every cigar is different. Mother Nature grows different leaves, different shapes, different sizes, different textures. And so it takes a very skilled cigar maker like Luis to be able to maintain a consistent blend, despite the fact that every leaf is different.
Never is the same tobacco. You see what you make, the final product in your hands. It's a craft. The inside, that is the important part. Something is wrong inside, you lose the game. And I never worked with American tobacco in my whole life. The American tobacco is completely different. Very hard to work because it's a thicker tobacco. The oil is completely different. You always learn about the cigars, always. Even you have making cigar for 30 years, 20 years, so you always learn something new. So for me, it's an art. It's art, 100%.
So much manufacturing has moved overseas, not only in our industry, but in every industry. We've lost a lot of people who knew how to make things. With the American, I wanted to prove that we can create a cigar with all American components, with inks and stamps and hinges and cellophane, all made in the United States. The labels, the cigar bands, all printed in America.
When I think of American craftsmanship, I think of going the extra mile. I think of artisans taking the extra time to make sure the product is perfect and has purpose. It's not, unfortunately, just pushing a button and this beautiful label comes out. The pressmen, the artisans, are definitely the most important part of the production process. They are the ones that have to diagnose and solve all these little riddles along the way. It takes months, if not years, to really train and produce and maintain the quality on the equipment that we have. Most printers are about production. Our end goal is quality, quality, quality. It has to be perfect.
Es primera vez que nosotros hacemos una caja con todos los productos made in America. Y de verdad que eso hace la diferencia. A la vez que hace difícil también, tuvimos que cambiar algunos procesos. Por ejemplo, el de las bisagras, porque ellos no querían la bisagra alemana, querían la bisagra americana. Ellos compraron una máquina, las pusieron aquí de las bisagras americanas. Y es una caja muy diferente que incrementa mucho los procesos. Se demora en producir. Si no estampamos bien, perdemos la caja y perdemos todos los procesos anteriores en que nos esforzamos. Muchas personas no aprecian el trabajo que hay detrás de la fabricación de una caja. El cigar como tal es algo que es bien handmade y es bonito también que todo esto sea handmade. Y yo creo que le da un toque diferente, un sentido diferente.
I hope that a cigar like the American can remind future generations that we can make outstanding products by hand in the United States today, the same way that was done centuries ago.
I came to this country looking for a dream.
Este país me ha dado la oportunidad a mí, a mi familia.
My family's been here for close to 400 years, but we're still immigrants.
When I think of America, I think of the people who came here from all around the world in search of the American dream. Makes me so proud to be able to keep the American cigar tradition going. To be able to celebrate the craft of growing tobacco from 14-generation family farmer like John Foster. Jeff, who's resurrected tobacco farming in Florida. Printer like Jason. A box maker like Miguel.
Este es el país que me acogió y de verdad para mí ese proyecto significa mucho. Primera vez que hago un proyecto así, todo made in America.
Being a part of a cigar called The American, an American family involved in agriculture for 14 generations, that was an honor. Hopefully this is, the beginning of some cigar American renaissance.
Traditions can't survive on their own. Someone has to choose, has to want to carry them forward.
Future generation, they need to appreciate the process, the history behind to make premium cigar by hands. What important is this industry to keep alive or at least know about it.
My dream would be to have one of my 3 sons join, or all 3, join the business at some point. I was lucky enough to work with my mom and dad and my brother. That would be truly a dream come true.
It's important for the future of the family to have that history, have that connection with the house, the land. And the house and the land here is a central focus of that family history.
We've forgotten how to make things in the country, and it's something that we need to make sure that each generation learns about it. Whether it's about cigars or it's where food comes from, if we don't actually pass that information down to the next generation, we're cutting ourselves short.
Because we're the last traditional cigar factory still operating in the United States, if we didn't open our doors, invite people in, nobody else could or would be able to show this incredible tradition.
It's part of Americana, it's part of our history, it's what a city was known for. The next generation, you'll still see how this is done instead of just pictures in a book or, stories online.
We are not the same amount of roller than 100 years ago, but we got something at least. So it's something that we keep alive. For the community, it's something unique. Try to keep the only one alive.
At some point, somebody else has to pick up the torch. And I think somebody will. They always do.
My first memory is walking through this factory when I was a little kid with my dad and my grandfather, my uncle, and listening and learning and observing and taking it in. Now I love taking my 2 children through the factory as well. Being an American is not just about the past. It's about deciding what we want to carry on for the future. The American story lives on because each generation chooses to continue it.